I have a meeting in 12 minutes. And I thought, hey, do you think we could build this in 12 minutes? Let's give it a shot. I wanted to see if I could show you how to recreate this particular house here in 12 minutes within Chief Architect. The question actually is just how do we build this whole structure, the center structure here? But I'll try to do the whole thing real quick. So let me put this off to my second screen here and get off of Amazon and other things. And let's fire up Chief Architect. Um, if you're using macros and you're using global macros, I'll note that I just had Chief Architect shut down. It's good to shut down every once in a while because global macros store, and as they get rewritten, they can get in the way a little bit. So anyways, that's a side note. Typical of me and my ADD brain. But here we go. We'll just start with the building. We've got a projection that goes all the way across, and then all of a sudden this extends out, and we've got two gable ends, okay? And I'm not even going to worry about dimensions in this case, and I'm not even going to worry about alignments. With the wall tool active, if you are in a a contain selection mode, I could just contain select all those things and copy reflect about the other side. And now I have that second gable established, okay? And then the other thing that's happening here is we've got another wall, kind of like this front wall. Now that makes a new wall that's aligned, and we've got an extension of the house that carries through like this. And then we could use the connect walls to just join that to this back wall. And let's just use the centering tool to center up this back wall along that whole projection. There we go. Now I want to select a couple of these walls and make them gable end walls in this case. And I'm not even going to worry about the back of this house. Now let's just pull a 3D view so we can kind of see this as I'm working through it. And we'll just, if we're on PC, we get to use mnemonic keys. So Alt W and then tile horizontally or tile vertically. In this case, vertically is V. So now I've just got these tiled vertically and we can kind of see what's happening here. So if we look at that original post again, we can kind of see, there we go. We've got kind of a double gable condition. And then that center section is going to have something else going on. So the next thing I need to do, same thing, mnemonic keys, Alt B O, enter, enter, enter will get me a new floor, but I in fact don't want this floor to be the full extent of the building. So if I cycle back through the tools I was just using, I just cycled back to the wall tool to delete these, go down a level, and then since I still have the wall tool, I can shift select these center walls, copy, go up a level, paste, hold position, and you can see here, we're very quickly coming to that structure that I'm looking for, where I can switch to our 3D view and control select two items, make them gable end walls, and I might even adjust the overall floor for this, which I could do by selecting the exterior wall, tab or enter, and then drag down the edit handle, which represents the floor default, and drag this down to what I need it to be. I'm just going to say 48 inches by using tab enter input method. And then on top of this, we do have an additional structure here, which is kind of the front patio, front porch, if you will. So let me go back to plan view and we'll just draw out some walls. In fact, I'm just going to extend these walls that I have right here, and we'll just extend these forward. Maybe we'll push them forward 48 inches. And I can copy paste reflect about again and then drag this edit handle over. And now I have a hotkey, so if I break these two segment walls, right, and then cycle back to my wall tool, shift marquee select these and then make them invisible walls, there we go, we're starting to create something. Now something I want to do here is I'm going to select this room that was now created, and I can open it up and say that it's roof group number 1 instead of number 0. And you're going to see we've now established that we've got a different roof setting here. And then I want to make the two end walls here gable. So now I'm creating kind of that setup that we saw in this image right here. So let me switch back. I won't use that as a reference. I think I could probably just remember it. I'll select this invisible wall, get into the roof structure panel, set this pitch to a low pitch roof. There we go. Now we're getting really close to that image, right? And then we're just using the dormer tool to kind of clean this up and a few other things. So very quickly you can build this roof with auto build roofs. I'd probably say if we just get into the roof dialog that this is more like an 8 and 12 pitch roof. And I don't need to display that. We're just going to see the update here. I must have typed in 80. Oops. Let's get in that again. 83, 8 and 12 pitch roof. There we go. There we are. And yeah, that's starting to look really similar to the source thing here. Now let's go ahead and use the dormer tool. So let's get into that roof menu again. Auto floating dormer or auto dormer. I'm going to use the floating dormer tool. And I'm actually not all that practiced with this tool, but I should be able to just click and draw this in, and there you go. It's starting to show up. So if we go look at the source again, this is supposed to be lined up with our end wall condition. And so there we go. I'm just going to bring that forward. And then I need to do some manually editing, but should be able to use concentric resize to resize the width of this. And then it says it does not meet at the base roof, and that's because the pitch of those roof planes. So it might be that we need to change that pitch or change the not the overhangs, changing the wrong thing. Change the pitch to something like maybe a 6 and 12. And then in the walls section, maybe I need to lower that dormer down to something like 48 for this to show up. And now it's just a matter of editing and kind of conforming till we get what we've got going on here. And actually this is a shed roof, so that's another thing to edit. Now we could just explode this, but in the roof section this shows gable instead. We can just call it a shed. There we go. So that should get us what we need. And so for the most part, we pretty much hit exactly what we needed to do. Now it's just a little bit of cleanup, and I think I'll wait for some comments to show up. If you want me to build the rest of this house, let me know if that's of any interest to you. And I think for the most part, this gets us, 90% of the way there towards building this with just the auto build roof tools.